Hi, my name is Dr. Tanya Sanders, and we're back. NWOET experts are here again to tell you a little bit more about the trending tools out in the world today, or the new things that are being implemented by the state. Whatever the heck is changing with technology and education, we're here to help you with that. Our resources and all our videos are going to be on the URL that's on your screen right now. And also, if you're familiar with our YouTube channel, Know It Now with NWOET, we're also going to include this video series or vlog on that YouTube channel. Joining me today for our Know It Now video blog are Judy Tucker and Dr. Roger Manier. This is our fourth episode in this series. Today, our topic is more new resources from INFOhio. And Judy is our expert on the INFOhio resources. I'm just going to give her the platform here, and she can start telling you about all those great resources. Judy?
Okay, we'll get started here, and I'm going to go to the internet. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully everything will go the way I hope. So, Tanya, can you see my screen now? The INFOhio screen.
Yes, I can. Perfect.
Okay. This is what you land on when you go to INFOhio.org, and I will put the links that I'm using today, the direct links on that website Tanya referenced earlier. And I'm going to show you ones that are new for fall. They actually became available on July 1st. So we're going to go into grades K to 5 and see the new resources that are available. All the resources are shown here with images in alphabetical order. And we're going to go to the third one down in the K to 5 grade band, and that's the Capstone Interactive eBooks. And then we'll follow up with a look at the Pebble Go Next. It's also a capstone resource. So let's just go a little bit of what this all these resources have, and that is this little eye here. And oftentimes extra information is added for educators. I mean, students can click on it as well. If you would want to put this resource directly into your Google Classroom, if that is a management system that you use in your classroom, you also can, of course, bookmark it, or you can get a direct link. And this is what the one I will put, the link I will put on that website of our resources. And then you can see they also list other related resources for grades and pre-K to 5. And you can open it here, you can click here. Both of them will get you to the resource itself. And you can see here, there's the suggested grade levels for this particular resource. So we'll just go ahead and open it. I could have clicked right there on the image back on that home landing page for grades K to 5, but this takes you into the Capstone Interactive. There are over 500 ebooks that can be searched. A student can look through by scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. In fact, I just got tired of scrolling. There are so many. So, but these are, of course, alphabetical. You can see all these start with the letter A. But you also can search up here in the top for whatever book you're looking for. The most popular books is also at the top. The newest titles they have, or you can search by title. Now at this time, there aren't any book lists, and I need to see if a teacher can make a book list for students or for the school, because right now when you go to book lists, there's nothing there. But you also can filter all the resources in this Capstone Interactive by grade range. And again, this is for grades 3 to 5. So, but some things came up when I did kindergarten. And also you can buy guided reading level. And this is a scholastic way. They give letters to the higher the letter in the alphabet, the higher reading level the book. And these other ones, Accelerated Reader is another company's reading program, and of course the Lexile range. So if a student wanted to filter by a book that was closest to their reading level, they could find out from the teacher what their Lexile level. These are the different, they give 4 different levels here as far as searching for the book that you might want. There's also titles in Spanish, so you can limit it to just the English titles or just the Spanish titles, which I find interesting. And doing a visual search, they have different categories. And so if a student really likes graphic novels, they can just click on the graphic novels and search within that particular category and see all the graphic novels that are shown in this. I mean, they're just, the pictures are so interesting with the covers. I think it's going to excite students because there's one piece of research that I will never forget, and that is the more time a student spends reading results in greater reading skills. So if a student can do this to read what they want to read instead of what the teacher or the basal reader that they might be using, I think they're going to spend more time reading. So this is Capstone Interactive, and we will just, there's no login required, by the way, to get into this resource from INFOhio. So, yeah.
Hey, Judy, I really like that you showed me this. The boys, are reading a lot of graphic novels, and to know that this is available to be filtered is amazing, because I'm already seeing 2 or 3 titles that the boys would love to read right now. And they are actually, we go to the library every day because they have to replace their books. So this is awesome. I didn't know that they had that filter in.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Judy, I want to kick out something on that exact same point. 2 things that you said that just leapt up like fireworks in my mind. And number one, and the research as you stated, is very, very clear. Kids that read more do better at reading, and students that do better at reading do better not just in school, but in life. You know, they're less likely to be involved with the law. They're less likely to do drugs. A whole bunch of things are less likely when students read more. So even if it's not the exact text that you might want to have as a teacher assigned to them, you know, as long as it's appropriate for age and grade and maturity, get them reading. That's incredible. The other piece of research that perhaps is not as well known is the fact that most students, when left to their own, will choose a reading resource, will choose a book that's 1 or 2 grade levels below what they're capable of. They want an easy read. They want something that's fun to read. So while we want to keep them reading, we also want to keep them challenged. So one of the things as a teacher you may want to do is use those fantastic sorting tools, the Accelerated Reader or the Lexile level, to try and find books that are in a topic that's of interest to the student, but that also push them a little bit, that push them to a little bit higher level. If they're interested in animals, you know, help use those filters to identify 3 or 4 books, maybe one that's at their preferred reading level, which is probably 1 or 2 grades below where they're capable of, one that's right on target, and one that pushes them a little bit. And what we might hope is that the student will go through all 3 of those. They'll do the easy reading, the fun reading that helps encourage them. They'll do the at ability level reading. And then, because it's a topic they're so interested in, they'll go ahead and struggle a little bit because they're so interested in that topic. They'll go ahead and read that book that is a little bit challenging, that maybe uses a little bit higher level of vocabulary, a little bit more complex sentence structure. So as teachers, if you can help put together these lists that maybe is right at or maybe a little bit below, one that's definitely on target for where the student's ability is, and one that stretches them a little bit in the subject area they're interesting, you will be amazed over a relatively short period of reading. So over a period of 3 to 6 books read, at the improvement that occurs. So that's research-based, and it's an incredible resource to have this Capstone Bookflix and the other resources from INFOhio and other tools for reading. Judy, thank you. That's fantastic.
Okay. When you click on a book, you get this pop up, and you can click on the book information. Will tell you exactly what those levels are for that particular book, how long it's going to be if you use the playbook feature, which I'm going to be showing here. And if you have Accelerate Reader, it even tells you that there is a quiz for this book with Accelerate Reader if the school purchases that program. But when you go to play a book, you can turn the sound off. You have it on autoplay, and if you do the page by page, you'll have to turn it yourself, and Book All at Once, it will turn at the end of a page because it does read it and highlights each word. But I want to share something that happened. I have a lot of Facebook friends, and one of my former students' daughter has a daughter, so it's my former student's granddaughter, was in some kind of accident that she has a concussion, and it's pretty serious, and they have told her she's not allowed to look at any screens, and she has to just basically veg out on the sofa or a chair, and she is just going crazy, not being able to look at anything like, like she's used to. And so I suggested this to her, and that her mother just, she realizes she can't. She's old enough. She's been homeschooled. She's, I think, going to be in first or second grade, and she is very smart. I mean, her reading level is probably third or fourth grade from what I've seen on Facebook that has been shared. And somebody said, well, why don't you get her some audiobooks or something? Can you use audiobooks? And the mother came back saying, I don't have any right now. And so I shot off an email immediately with the links to the capstone, to the book flicks, and to the next one I'm going to show you, the Pebble Go Next. And she was just so, I can't wait to get back with her to find out how her daughter is finding these resources, because obviously they had internet and that wasn't going to be an issue, but she isn't going to be able to look at the screen. But the promise is that, maybe when you get better and the doctor says you can have screens again, you'll be able to get into this resource. So I'm hoping it works well for her, because she can have the audio from any of these books without looking at the screen. So there's a glossary that the student can look at. The only thing I found interesting was that I couldn't make it. Look at the sound, turn the sound off, was I couldn't get the words to play. Now my little, my little thing that was hidden by our, but you can see there's a lot of words in this graphic novel, but she should be, it'll go through and you can do autoplay and it will play it for a student. And now I don't know if these will actually highlight the word. In the regular books, it does highlight the word. I've got the sound turned off, but it doesn't look like these have the capability to do that, but it will read it.
It does, it's doing it.
Student
It's
or
down at
any
the
student.
bottom.
And that's what I suggest, Roger, if they are having difficulty with a book that's higher than their reading level, they might use the audio section as a support, and
Great
then
suggestion.
learn to read it themselves later. So
Super.
because sometimes I don't like to read the same book twice, but it doesn't seem to matter to younger children to have their favorite book read every night, for weeks, because they love it so much. So that's the Capstone Interactive, and you can go back to the INFOhio page and the K-5, but there is a great little link right here at the top of Capstone Interactive, so I can go to Pebble Go Next. INFOhio did not purchase the rights to the Pebble Go. So if you go into that, I'll say you do not have a subscription, but you can see, after reviewing this, it seems like it's very, very interactive with videos and so forth, but these are the categories that are available: states, science, American Indian, social studies, and biographies. Let's just go into science as an example. It kind of looks like elementary encyclopedia on steroids, is my analysis of it. And you just keep digging deeper. And if you want to go to games, there's links down at the bottom. And I can't see it because my little menu's there, but video experiments and question of the day, I think is what that is. So, but let's go into the census, and you can see it can be read aloud to the student, and it goes on and on. I mean, it is could be a challenge to say a third grader, but it could be read aloud. And when you read aloud, they do highlight the words. I've got my sound muted, but so.
And Judy, even for higher grade levels, like
Again,
a high school
up here
anatomy
are
class.
all the census they can go through. There's related articles, but it's just a really nice addition to the already rich resources that are provided to every student, parent, and teacher here in Ohio. And you do not need any kind of login or anything like that. Now, I do want to point out, let's go back to the home page, that there is educator resources. And so the teacher can look in, they don't have to sign in, but they can go to the resources that they want to explore and get ideas for learning, helping the student with this. Now, if we go back to INFOhio, let's see, I've got my menus turned off here. But just going back to, let's see here, going back to INFOhio, I have not been able to find a direct link other than on the INFOhio website, going down to these articles at the bottom that talk about the new resources here for the fiscal year 2022. But if you just search for Capstone Connect, and I imagine there's going to be a new link, or I haven't just found it yet. Capstone Connect has, I'm going to click on the first one here. It's a way that teachers can find ideas for using lesson plans by standard and by title. So if you know the title the student is interested in or that you're going to use with a group of students or the whole class, you can find instructional materials within Capstone Interactive eBooks. And so now there would not be at this time the Pebble Go, just not the Pebble Go Next for Ohio teachers, but look for it to be maybe something to be added down the road when the funding is, or when we see a reaction to how people like this Capstone. And I think they're really gonna, it's a little different and it's got some different offerings, especially that graphic novels part of it. So I think that's probably all I better have cut off here, or I'll over go my time limit. And so just check our website for the links, or just go to infohio.org and 1 O in the middle of INFOhio. So.
All right, Judy. Well, thank you. Those are some wonderful resources. And, you know, we've been loving to go into the library here lately, but I think I'm going to have the boys kind of jump on some of these. The alien one that you demonstrated is exactly the one that I know one of my boys is going to love. They watch a Netflix series that has these aliens telling them about real things in life and that kind of stuff. So I know that they'll really get into that graphic novel. Again, if you ever have any questions, that URL that you see on your screen, if you go there, it has all of our email addresses. It also has all the links and resources that Judy was talking about. Every episode has its own web page that has the video and the resource links, presentations, whatever we've offered you that episode. Next week's topic will be the instructional design in a one-to-one district, classroom management and instruction. I think it's important based on the episode that we did last week about what to expect in 2022 with every student having a device in their hand. Now, how does the instruction change for that? As always, thank you, Roger and Judy, and to our wonderful, wonderful districts that we've already been working with this summer. And we're looking forward to the upcoming school year and many after that. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.